Welcome back to SwitchCorner. My name is Alex and today we're taking a look at my favourite deals across the Switch eShops covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. It's a weird week this one, mostly new all-time low prices, but for sure a little bit more, let's say, obscure and quieter than normal. So yeah, just kind of a warning there, but look, still some great games. So with that, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here, join our growing family and let's get started. So as always then, two winners to announce for two $10 eShop gift cards and two more to give away. Now all you need to do to enter, drop a comment down below and the winners they'll be announced in next week's video. So first up for the week, Knights and Bikes, an action-adventure experience. It can be played in either single player or two player, and the first thing I want to shout out with this one are the visuals, that hand-drawn animation style. It just absolutely worked for me, and you're kind of out here exploring what is an ancient island and trying to save the day. The best bit though, you're on bikes and you'll be upgrading them along the way with a whole lot of items to find and puzzles to solve. It's a new low price then here with 40% off, and it's a game that for sure deserves a bigger audience. Next up then, we've got Peaky Blinders. This was a surprise hit for me and it's back, matching the low price with 80% off, a steal for what may look like a strategy experience, but I would probably describe it personally more as a puzzle game. The idea, you are the Peaky Blinders, you're completing missions, overcoming opposition, and you need to navigate this world on what is a timeline based system. So basically you can do things like rewind, fast forward, move different characters and so on. The downfall of this one, no voice acting or text, because the writing is absolutely perfect. It just would have absolutely elevated it if they had some audio. Everything else though is spot on, and my full breakdown is in the pinned comment down below. Door Kickers then is for you strategy fans, and think here, control a SWAT team and navigate them through what is increasingly challenging situations with full touch control support, and that's thanks to the game's roots on phones. A quality game though that deserves its time on consoles. No real combat here though, rather you are looking at almost the blueprint, an overhead top down view of the location, and you'll be determining the best path taken and how to overcome your foes in the best way. It's got some serious depth though, this one, and also some serious challenge as well, and I got absolutely addicted to this one when it released. A new low then of 60% off makes it seriously budget, and again I was seriously impressed. Mortal Kombat then is no doubt a controversial pick just because there's mixed opinions on what they think of this Switch build, but for fight fans I think you can do a lot worse, and 75% off here marks a new all-time low price. Now naturally graphics, they're taking a hit. Also, it's not the expanded edition with all the fighters, rather just the base game, but maybe you weren't sure, so this would be a good place to start. This is actually the version I own on the Switch. I have the expanded edition on another platform, but you can't question the quality of Mortal Kombat and its incredible depth in its systems. Fighters on Switch then though, I've got to say this, they're not all that popular sadly, so I can't guarantee how busy online will be, but I love the genre, and it's always a good one when you get friends around the house. You want something anyone can play and make their way through. A little golf journey then comes from publishers Playtonic, the team behind Yooka-Laylee, and it's a new release this week, so it's a tiny 10% off, but I wanted to give it a shout out because I actually had a really good time with it. Now the idea, you're navigating over 100 golf holes battling for what is a star ranking. It's kind of like one of those Zen-like experiences, but it also knows when to dial things up and give those with addictive personalities something to chase. I was impressed, I had fun with it, and I think puzzle fans, it's for sure a fun spin. Visuals then, they kind of that low poly style as well. The only letdown for me, the audio, it goes for that Zen-like nature of the game, which makes absolute sense, but I wish they had matched the environments instead and tried to elevate the whole experience rather than just simply be a backing. Five Bastards now then is one of the few reviews on the channel I actually regret. I went too hard because after I dropped the video, I actually got addicted to its idea. The concept, a roguelike shooter, you are a prisoner on a prison, a spaceship, and things are going wrong. You are essentially forced to go look for help, and you need to navigate this star system, find resources, so food, fuel, and then survive increasingly challenging foes in what is first-person combat. Die and it's then back to the beginning as a new prisoner with different traits, think seeing the world in black and white, screaming when you open loot, maybe you're tall, maybe you're short, all sorts of weirdness I guess. Great fun though, with yes issues, frame rate drops, but the loop overcomes them, and it's currently 50% off, that matches the all-time low. A pickup for me this week then is Cardaclysm Shards of the Four, and I'm a sucker for anything that is deck based. recently at least, and this one is promising to mix just that but with action RPG elements as well. I presume it's kind of like exploration dungeon crawling but card deck battles mixed in. Reviews I've seen though, they're above average, and yeah, something about it's piqued my curiosity. It expires relatively soon, this deal, so I will make sure to mention it the next time I see it on sale if I do enjoy it. But let me know in the comments below if you've played it, if it was a good pickup, or let me know if you're going to be taking the risk with me. A new low price then of 40% off as well, which is always good, and I will absolutely take it because it makes this one, well, simply budget. So our first winner of the week then, it's going to Tina, who picked up Moonlighter, Leisure Suit Larry and a few others. Now Leisure Suit is surprisingly fun, underrated, and probably got a bit of a bad opinion around it. And then Moonlighter, it's a great choice for sure. Congrats though Tina, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, we still have a second winner coming up later in the video. Akiba's Trip, Hellbound and Debrief then I'm shouting out because I reviewed it and wasn't all that impressed honestly, but there was a fair amount of comments saying if it goes on sale they will probably grab it, so here is your chance. The idea in this world, vampires are taking over and they can explore the world as long as they are clothed. The story's only going to get weirder from here. Now the gameplay, you need to beat the hell out of these enemies till their clothes fall off, in turn killing them. It's got a relatively small world to explore though, and it was like a PSP game or something, which absolutely shows, but I just couldn't help but feel it fell short of its ideas. The combat was lackluster, it was incredibly challenging at times just because the control scheme was kind of weak, and it really did have some performance issues. It's 40% off though, but for me this could have been this like strange spin on the Yakuza style formula, and it just absolutely missed. 40% off though, as I said, look, it marks a new low price, so if you were one of those people saying you'd pick it up, this may be a good option. Hardcore Mecha then is an action run and gun experience where you take on the role of a mech pilot trapped in a rebellion and conspiracy going to war. A whole lot of platforming and weapons throughout, but the odd moments out of the mech and also flying into battle, and it really elevates itself in its commitment to its story. Also then just a decent chunk of content with a fair few enemy types to take down, tons of mechs to unlock, multiplayer modes, and also a survival mode that I will say I've actually never tried. The story though is a decent length as well, the average it's clocking right around 7 hours. 30% off though marks a new all-time low price. Greak Memories of Azur then sees its first ever sale since launch with 25% off. Now this one, it's an action platformer side-scrolling with a dash of Metroidvania in its world design. The spin though, you control 3 siblings, each with different abilities, and often you'll even control multiple. Now the latter there, it can be awkward honestly, but the gameplay was solid overall, the puzzles make good use of multiple characters, and the combat actually gets pretty challenging. The highlight though has to be the visuals, the hand-drawn designs are stunning, as are the animations, and the story kind of reuniting with your family and escaping, it's a very easy one to get behind. Rollercoaster Tycoon Free Complete Edition then is the park builder we deserved on the Switch. Adventures is also on the Switch, ignore that one, it's weak and come here instead for what is a huge amount of content, packing in all prior DLC and expansions, so that's including zoo animals and water parks. Works really well on the Switch though, and since launch it's one I keep coming back to, and there's not a huge amount more I can really add here. Look, if you fancy building a park, you want to take on challenges, then this is a classic. 55% off here marks a new all-time low price. So our penultimate game of the week then, told you it was a short one, but R-Type Final 2 is here with a relatively small new low price of 20% off, and many of you will already know it's a side-scrolling shmup and a classic of the genre. Not a huge amount I can add honestly, a rebuild with modernized graphics. It's still a little old school looking definitely in its design, but the gameplay is for sure sound. Multiple difficulties then, and a solid checkpoint system. It's going to be a good one potentially for beginners out there, and I've always enjoyed boss design in R-Type and it does not disappoint. Just of course be warned here, it's not, you know, the longest of games, it's more centered around perfecting that run, dialing up the difficulty, and then finally racking up a high score. Our second winner of the week then is Broly, who at the time was psyched for Metroid Dread. Now like most of you, I was psyched as well, I've been playing it nearly non-stop since it released, probably be dropping a review on that one early next week. Congrats though Broly, look, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance to win in next week's video. So our final game of the week then is actually a pickup for me as well, that is Dodgeball Academia. I started to play this one over on Xbox because it was free on Game Pass, but I want to play it now on the Switch. It feels like it will be right at home in handheld, and that cartoon-like visual style, it should be a great test for the new OLED screen. So I'm looking forward to diving in again, just diving into this world, but finally also seeing the end of the game, describing itself as a sports RPG, though it's for sure different, and you'll be joining Otto at the Academy as you train to become the ultimate dodgeball warrior. It's broken down though into 8 episodes, and you'll customize and evolve your team to become the champions of this world. Definitely a lot to like though for RPG fans out there. And that's another week down for sure. As I said, a shorter week than usual, but we've had a monster few weeks of deals at this point, so it was going to happen eventually, and I still see this as a decent selection of quality games to dive into if you have any space in that library, also if you're not playing too much of Metroid Dread. Remember then though to drop a comment down below for your chance to win one of 2 $10 eShop gift cards in next week's video. A shout out then to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.